Welcome back to the Lost Tactician, where we unearth the secrets that helped civilizations endure the harshest tests of time. I'm your host, and today we're investigating one of history's most intriguing construction mysteries. A material so durable, so resistant to the ravages of time and nature, that medieval builders seem to have cracked a code that modern engineering still struggles to replicate. They called it stone wood, timber that rang like marble when struck, charred like stone in fire, and stood impervious to rot for centuries. The question isn't just whether this technique was real, it's whether we've truly lost it or simply forgotten the patience required to reclaim it. Walk through the foundations of a medieval cathedral, descend into the salt mines of Europe, or examine the timber supports holding up fortresses built 800 years ago, and you'll encounter something that defies expectation. Wood that looks like it should have crumbled to dust generations ago instead stands firm, its surface hardened to a depth that seems to contradict the organic nature of the material. Medieval builders weren't magicians. They were masters of chemistry and time, working with principles that modern materials science is only now beginning to fully understand and appreciate. The legend of stone wood persists across European construction records from the 12th century onward. It wasn't myth or exaggeration, it was the deliberate transformation of ordinary timber into a material with three almost supernatural properties. First, fireproof, not in the sense of modern flame retardants, but genuinely resistant to ignition, charring slowly while resisting combustion. Second, rot-proof in a way that no untreated wood can be, its very cellular structure altered so thoroughly that fungi and insects could not digest the mineralized fibers. Third, a hardness that would dull medieval tools and blunt modern steel saws. This wasn't petrification in the geological sense. This was deliberate, man-made transformation, a process so carefully guarded that its specifics seemed to vanish as the Middle Ages gave way to industrialization. To understand what medieval builders achieved, we must think like them. They had no synthetic chemicals, no industrial pressure tanks, no laboratories. What they had was access to raw materials, generational knowledge, and most importantly, time. The evidence points to three primary approaches that worked in tandem to create stone wood. The first involved silicates, what we might call liquid glass. Potassium silicate and sodium silicate, derived from wood ash and sand through controlled heating, created a solution that could penetrate deep into the wood's cellular structure. Unlike modern surface coatings, these silicates didn't sit on top of the wood. They bonded with the cellulose fibers themselves, replacing the air in wood cells with mineral deposits. This process is called lumen filling, and it's the key to understanding why stone wood felt and behaved differently from ordinary timber. The second method employed magnesium oxychloride compounds, what chemists would later call Sorel cement. Medieval builders discovered, perhaps through accident and refinement, that certain salt solutions could crystallize within the wood structure, creating an interior scaffold that hardened the material without making it brittle. The third technique, equally effective, involved soaking timber in solutions of alum or vitriol, metallic salts that penetrated the grain and precipitated inside the wood cell walls, effectively mineralizing the structure from within. But here's where patience became the true ingredient. These treatments required years, not weeks. Timber was often felled in winter when sap had ceased flowing, reducing the sugar and moisture content that attracted insects and fungi. The wood was then air-seasoned for years, not in kilns, which dried wood too quickly and left it porous, but naturally, allowing fibers to pack tightly together as moisture slowly evaporated. Only after this long seasoning would the mineral treatments be applied, followed by applications of tar, linseed oil, and lime mortar. Each layer added protection. Together they created something approaching the legendary hardness and durability that characterized stone wood. If stone wood was so superior, why did we abandon it? The answer, well, it reveals something quite profound about how industrial civilization, tends to prioritize speed over endurance. Mineralized wood is extraordinarily heavy, sometimes 3 times the weight of untreated timber. It also becomes brittle, losing that natural flexibility which allows wood to move with changes in temperature and humidity. The process required patience measured in years, not weeks, and in an age of capitalism and quarterly returns, patience, unfortunately, became a liability rather than an asset. Modern pressure-treated timber offers a faster alternative, though often at the cost of toxicity, arsenic, copper, and chromium compounds that protected buildings but, sadly, poisoned the soil. Yet medieval methods were remarkably green. The minerals used were abundant, the processes non-toxic, and the resulting wood was far superior in longevity. We haven't lost the secret of stone wood. We've simply lost the will to wait for it. The techniques remain replicable, proven in experimental archaeology projects like Gadlon Castle in France, where 13th century construction methods are being faithfully recreated with stunning success. Modern alternatives, acetylated wood, borate treatments, and furfurilation processes are spiritual successors to medieval stone wood, applying the same principles with contemporary efficiency. The lesson isn't about retrieving a lost formula. It's about understanding that true durability demands investment across generations. Medieval builders weren't just constructing buildings, they were leaving legacies. They knew their work would outlive them, and they built accordingly. Perhaps in an age of climate crisis and resource scarcity, that mindset isn't lost at all. It's finally coming home. If you've found this investigation into how history shapes our understanding of endurance and craftsmanship compelling, please like, share, and subscribe to the Lost Tactician for more deep dives into the survival wisdom and tactical brilliance of ages past. Until next time, remember, the most sophisticated survival strategy isn't always about innovation. Sometimes it's about honoring the patient wisdom of those who came before.